Hello, dear students. In this video, we're going to talk about our new lesson about the cardiac activity. What the meaning of cardiac? Everything related to heart is related to the word cardiac. So in this video, we're going to determine the different parts of the heart and the cardiac activity. Heart and the cardiac activity, chapter 3, activity 1. What is the function of the heart? And what is the heart? The heart, as you know, is a muscular pump. It's like a pump that pushes or propels blood to all different organs. It's like a pump which which deliver blood to the different body organs in a continuous manner. So the heart is a muscle. So one of the muscles inside our body is the heart. It's like a pump. It propels, it pushes the blood to all different organs. This action occurs continuously. It doesn't occur by, for example, in a discontinuous manner, since all the body organs they need blood and what's carried by the blood like oxygen and other important constituents. The heart is divided into two parts, the left part and the right part. The left part is the oxygenated one, where the blood is oxygenated and rich in oxygen. Therefore, the red color of the blood is going to be bright. So here the left part, it's defined as the oxygenated part, where the blood is oxygenated. What the meaning of oxygenated? Meaning that it's rich in oxygen gas. It has bright red color. While the right part, it's deoxygenated. What the meaning of deoxygenated? It's poor in oxygen. Therefore, it has dark red color. So as I said, the heart is divided into two parts, the right and the left. The left part, it's oxygenated one, where it's rich in O2. It has bright red color, the blood, sure. And the right part, where it's deoxygenated and it's poor in oxygen, and the dark red color present in this part. Let's go deeply inside the heart. The heart constitutes of different parts that have important functions during our life. First, the myocardium wall. Myocardium wall, it helps the heart to contract. Septum. Septum is like a wall that separates the oxygenated blood on the left side from the deoxygenated blood from the right side and prevent their mixing. It's like, for example, a wall that separate the oxygenated blood from the deoxygenated, meaning that it separates the right from the left. And this is the role of the septum. The myocardium wall, the septums and the cavities, we're going to watch them and to identify their function and their location in the coming slides. Cavities. The heart is composed of four main cavities. The right auricle, or it's called atrium, and the right ventricle, the left auricle, or it's called atrium, and the left ventricle.
Hey everyone, this is Matt from KenHub, and in this tutorial, we will discuss the definition, function, and anatomy of the myocardium. The heart is a large muscular organ that is comprised of four different layers. From the outside to the inside, they are called the pericardium, the epicardium, the myocardium, and the endocardium. Each layer has a different function that primarily aids the pumping action of the heart, which allows the blood to flow around the body. The aim of this tutorial is to highlight the myocardium. The myocardium is the middle muscular layer of the heart's walls. It lies between the endocardium and the outer epicardium. The myocardium has three functions: providing a scaffolding for the heart chambers, assisting in contraction and relaxation of the cardiac walls so that blood can pass between the chambers, and conducting electrostimulation through its own tissues and into the epicardium. This video is more fun than reading a textbook, right? If you want more videos, interactive quizzes, articles, and an atlas of human anatomy, click on the Take Me to KenHub button. It is time to say goodbye to your old textbooks and say hello to your new anatomy learning partner, KenHub. See you there. Hey everyone,
Now we're going to talk about the bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valves after we determine the function of the myocardium. The bicuspid and the tricuspid valves, they allow the directional flow of blood from the auricles to the ventricles and prevent the backflow of the blood from the ventricle to the auricles. So here, bicuspid and tricuspid valves, they allow the directional flow of blood, meaning that they move from the auricles to the ventricles and prevents their backflow from the ventricles to the auricles. Superior and the inferior vena cava. Superior and the inferior vena cava, they have an important role. They collect deoxygenated blood from the organs to the right auricle. Pulmonary veins, they collect oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left auricle. Aorta, it has an important function. It carries oxygenated blood from left ventricle to all the body organs, while the pulmonary artery, it has a role in carrying deoxygenated blood from right ventricles to the lungs. Also, we have another type of valves. Other than the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves, we have the sigmoid valve. Sigmoid valve, it allows the unidirectional flow of the blood from the left ventricle to the aorta and from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. Thus, it prevents the backflow of the blood from the arteries into the ventricles. So here are the parts of the heart. These are the superior and the inferior vena cava that we talk about them. Superior and the inferior vena cava present here. This is the superior vena cava and this is the inferior vena cava. These superior and inferior vena cava, as we said, they collect deoxygenated blood from the organs to the right auricle. And we have the bicuspid and the tricuspid valves. Bicuspid and the tricuspid, this is the tricuspid valve shown here. They allow the unidirectional flow or the directional flow from auricles to the ventricles. Where are the auricles? This is the right auricle, right atrium as you said. This is the right ventricle. This is the left atrium and this is the left ventricle. So these are the cavities of the heart: right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricles. So these are left auricle, this is found here, left ventricle, it's here, right ventricle, and the right atrium. We said that the right side and the left side, the right side and the left side of the heart. The left part is deoxygenated. The left part is oxygenated, it's rich in oxygen. That's why it looks here, for example, like bright red in color. While here, the right part, it's deoxygenated, it's poor, it's dark red in color. Here it's like blue in color. Here we have the septum. Remember what we talk about the septum? We said the septum, it's like the wall. It's like a separation between the right side and the left side. It's like a wall that separate the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated. Separate the oxygenated blood and the left part from the deoxygenated in the right part. Also, we have the myocardium. Myocardium, the watch video about it. Myocardium, it helps the contraction of the heart and has an important role in the contraction and the relaxation of the heart, which is a muscle. Also, we have what's known by superior and inferior. Already we talk about this. We have the aorta. Here's the aorta. Aorta, it has an important role. It carries oxygenated blood from where to where? From the left ventricle to all the body organs. So aorta carries the blood from the left ventricle toward all the body organs. Also, we have the pulmonary artery. These you have to study them. Okay? These notes, they are very important. You have to study them. Pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricle toward the lungs. So it carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricles toward the lungs. Okay? Also, we'll talk about the different parts in the coming slides. Also, we have the pathway of the blood starting from the pulmonary vein. So starting from the pulmonary vein, whenever we start with the pulmonary vein, we have to end with the pulmonary vein. So pulmonary vein, then we move to the left auricle, then to the left ventricle, then toward the aorta, from the aorta toward the body organs, then to the vena cava, right auricle, right ventricle, then to the pulmonary artery, to the lungs, and finally to the pulmonary vein. Some of you is going to ask me, why did you start from the pulmonary vein? Simply, you can start from the left auricle, but if you start from the left auricle tracing the pathway of the blood, you have to end with the left auricle. Since I started with the pulmonary vein, I have to end with the pulmonary vein. Does the tracing change? No. If you start from the pulmonary vein, you have to move to the left auricle, to the left ventricle, to the aorta, then to the body organs, then to the vena cava, right auricle, right ventricle, pulmonary artery, lungs, pulmonary veins, and if you start from the left auricle, you have to go back to the left auricle. If you started from the left ventricle, you have to go back to the left ventricle, and so on. Veins. What are the functions of the veins? What are the veins? Veins, they are blood vessels. They carry blood to the heart away from the organs. So the veins, they carry blood to the heart away from the organs. All the veins, they carry deoxygenated blood except for pulmonary vein. So all the veins carry deoxygenated blood except for pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated one. Whereas arteries, they carry blood from heart to all body organs. All the arteries, they carry oxygenated except for pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated. So let's repeat this. Veins, they are blood vessels that carry blood to the heart away from the organs, and arteries, they are blood vessels that carry blood from the heart to all the body organs. Okay, so veins, they carry them to the heart, while arteries, they carry them away from the heart to all body organs. That's why you can study it A artery, A away from the heart toward the body organs. All the arteries, as we said, carries oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated. Why they carry oxygenated blood? Because they carry the blood from the heart to all the body organs. The body organs, they need oxygen. By the veins, they carry blood to the heart, so it should carry deoxygenated blood, then to be oxygenated later on. What do you think about the myocardium? Myocardium, it has important note that the myocardium is thicker, as we see here, it's thicker around the left ventricle than that around the right, since the blood in the left ventricle has been propelled to all body organs. This propulsion or this pushing of the blood to all the body organs, it needs energy. It needs more pressure. So more pressure, more force of contraction. So it should be thicker to withstand or to work under this high pressure. So propelling the blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Let's watch this video about the anatomy of the heart.
Your heart is an extraordinary machine. During your lifetime, your heart's muscular walls pump blood into blood vessels, branching throughout your body. Your heart has four chambers. Two upper chambers, called the left and right atria, and two lower chambers, called the left and right ventricles, contract in a steady rhythm known as your heartbeat. During a normal heartbeat, blood from your tissues and lungs flows into your atria, then into your ventricles. Walls inside your heart, called the interatrial and interventricular septa, help keep the blood on left and right sides from mixing. Two valves sit like doors between your atria and ventricles to prevent blood from flowing backward into your atria. The tricuspid valve opens into your right ventricle, and the bicuspid valve, also known as the mitral valve, opens into your left ventricle. Strong, thin tissues, called chordae tendineae, hold your valves in place during the forceful contractions of your ventricles. Blood leaving the ventricles passes through another set of valves, the pulmonary valve between your right ventricle and pulmonary trunk, and the aortic valve connecting your left ventricle and aorta. In order to pump blood more efficiently, your heart muscle, called myocardium, is arranged in a unique pattern. 3 layers of myocardium wrap around the lower part of your heart. They twist and tighten in different directions to push blood through your heart. When special cells, called pacemaker cells, generate electrical signals inside your heart, the heart muscle cells, called myocytes, contract as a group. Your heart is divided into left and right halves, which work together like a dual pump. On the right side of your heart, deoxygenated blood from your body's tissues flows through large veins, called the superior and inferior vena cava, into your right atrium. Next, the blood moves into your right ventricle, which contracts and sends blood out of your heart to your lungs to gather oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. On the left side of your heart, oxygen-rich blood from your lungs flows through your pulmonary veins into your left atrium. The blood then moves into your left ventricle, which contracts and sends blood out of your heart through the aorta to feed your cells and tissues. The first branches off your aorta are the coronary arteries, which supply your heart muscle with oxygen and nutrients. At the top of your aorta, arteries branch off to carry blood to your head and arms. Arteries branching from the middle and lower parts of your aorta supply blood to the rest of your body. Your heart beats an average of 60 to 100 beats per minute. In that 1 minute, your heart pumps about 5 quarts of blood through your arteries, delivering a steady stream of oxygen and nutrients all over your body.
So here let's move to this exercise. You have to study the label that's found in this lecture notes. You have to study it, and also you have to know the labeling of the structures from number 1 to 8. Number 1, as you know, is the superior vena cava. Number 2 is the right atrium, or it's the right auricle. Number 3 is the valve that occurs between them, so this is called the sigmoid valve. Number 4 is the aorta. Number 5 is the pulmonary artery. Number 6 is the pulmonary vein. Number 7 is the bicuspid valve, and number 8 is the left ventricle. This labeling, we're going to move deeply into it into the second video. Okay, see you, bye bye.